Welcome to the Tearing It Up podcast. I'm your host, Taryn. We'll be tearing it up, tearing it down, and tearing it apart, dissecting all things related to those who deviate from the standard. From leaders of their industry to leaders of mediocrity, and maybe a gear review or two thrown in. We shoot the shit and let the conversations flow, so if that's not your style, this may not be for you. Otherwise, listen in. Hope to light a fire in you somehow.
Oh, do you want me to stop?
No, you're good. I'm just going to at one point bring a light over here, I think.
Okay. Well, cool. We're here. We're on. It's nice to see you. It's been a couple weeks.
Where did we leave off? We were just talking to Hillary and she was leaving the US, but not leaving the US.
Yeah, totally. I was just trying to look at my calendar and even see when that was. It's definitely been a couple weeks. It was like right the day before she was taken off. So I think it's been just over 2 weeks because then you took off to Mexico like 2 days later.
Sí, mamacita.
Was that your first time to Mexico?
First.
Yeah, so how was it? And you had the family.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. The wedding was killer. It was so good to see my friends. So I went down to Mexico because my friends quit their jobs and went down and traveled through Baja California to Mexico from Washington. And they went all the way down to Guatemala and they bought some property and made their way back up and got married in Sayulita, and friends and family were there. And it was really cool to oh, sorry, what?
Jack and Janie like quit their jobs?
No. This isn't Jack and Janie. This is Katie and Jake.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Jack and Janie. So there's 2 weddings going on in my life this summer, and I'm so happy for all these sweet lovers.
I don't know. I totally thought it was
Jack and Janie.
And I'm like, why am I not seeing like any other pictures or like anything else going on? Yeah, okay. I'm on the same page as you now, at least.
Man, we need to get a little bit better at giving the people and each other context. Hey?
I know, right?
Little background. Okay, so my friends, Katie and Jake, quit their jobs and went down to Mexico or had this road trip planned. They went down to, anyways, they did the thing that I just said.
Yeah.
The families and the friends met up in Sayulita and they got married on a catamaran and said their vows and then jumped off the second story of the catamaran and there was water slides and it was a freaking party.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, we were there for a week. Her family was there for most of it. Katie's family, Jake's family too. And yeah, there was like a group of teenagers. There was a group of bigger boys, a few years older than Quincy, and Katie's parents and Jake's dad. And it was just really lovely to see the 2 families unite, especially after not seeing her for so long and like just going through the politics of like things that create animosity between your cool people that you like. And
was this Katie Bolden?
No, Katie's fault.
Okay. It was like, wait a second. Okay. Well, that's super cool. So did you and Marie ever get some time like alone to hang out with all those older people and kids being around, like to entertain Quincy?
Yes, but Quincy got some gut issues, which I had gut issues, which who doesn't have gut issues when they go down to Mexico? It's just part of it.
It is. It's hard to avoid even when you take all as much precautions as you can, just because it's, the food sometimes too is, just not the
from
same,
where you're from.
Exactly.
Different microbes. Like it's a totally different climate.
Yes.
It's just all of it. It's not just that it's like, I don't know. Anyways. I loved it. It was great. Marie and I got a little bit of alone time, but we were dealing with Quincy's tummy issues and we all had tummy issues. Like I didn't shit for a week solid and I'm still suffering from Moctezuma's revenge. Like so is Quincy. I don't know if it was the same for you guys when you went.
When I got home the day after, so I got like really sick. It might have been like even the night that I got home. I had no issues there whatsoever. Hillary had like a little one, but but like it was like literally just a like one time like thing. But yeah, it was when I got home, and it was like a day, but and then it was like better. I mean, my stomach felt a little off for a couple days, but I didn't have any major issues other than the one day. But yeah, I was like, whew, thank God that didn't like hit me on the plane or anything, and it waited until I was actually home. But I did have to call out of work the next day. I was like, I cannot come in. I am
going wrong with the plumbing, all right?
Yeah, I haven't slept. Like I can't keep anything in my tummy. It was not pleasant, but it could have been worse, I'm sure.
Like I can't remember the last time I had a solid shit, and it's been like 2 weeks.
Damn. I wonder what you can do for that.
I think just let it take its course. It's already
as long as you're just
like I'm gonna keep an eye on it, obviously, because it's my working body. But yeah,
eating normally, and maybe
Mexico was tight.
You might have to like limit like fibrous foods, like maybe take a little vegetable slow down for a couple days or something like that.
Totally,
you might hear some noise in the background with us being outside and with all the room the dogs have to roam. We've talked about this the last time we recorded an episode when I was up at the property. They just like to chew on their sticks and drag them around in all the rocks around me and just make all sorts of noise instead of like just go roam like a
free dog
that they could be, but whatever.
They're like, no, I want to be near you.
Yeah, if I go inside the trailer, they're like right there. I'm like, why? It's like 10 to 15 degrees hotter in here. Like, get the fuck outside. But yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there. But I'm so glad you guys had a good time. You got Murray and Quincy there, and just what an amazing thing to be able to have the whole family there. And how'd Murray do? Did he have some fun?
Did freaking awesome, and I'm so proud of him.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, he did really good. He went fishing. It was so good for him. Everybody, our entire family unit, we all needed a little checkout.
Yeah, and just like a change of scenery and doing something completely different that you guys aren't used to. Like, how awesome to be able to do that.
He got to fish his little butt off.
Oh, that's amazing.
In heaven, and we did a really good job with dealing with Quincy's tummy issues and like taking turns, because they missed out on the wedding.
Oh,
which really freaking sucks, because they would have loved it. They would have freaking loved it. But anyways, that's what happened. And which was great for me, because I got to have some alone time.
Yeah.
And myself. And I was also like the photographer of the wedding too, because Jake had like 3 different cameras, a drone. And so like a few of the family members were like picked to be photographer, and I was like, pick me, I want to do it. So I did it, and I haven't seen the pictures yet, but I feel like I did a pretty good job of
I can't wait to see
moments. And like Alex, the gent who was officiating the wedding, the day of the wedding, he was having gut issues. And I did this brilliant trick, which I think was brilliant. Also, our Airbnb was super great. Shout out to Casa Jackie in Sayulita, Mexico. It was so cool. And I just like was living in the moment so much. I didn't really stay too attached to my internet. Plus, I didn't know what exactly was going on with my internet. So I was like, no phone, which I took pictures, but I like didn't do social media stuff at all.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping
it felt good. But
I wanted to text you like send pictures, but I'm like also totally know what it's like to just want to totally. And then I was like, well, I don't know what kind of service or anything like she's got and all that.
Plus also like, when was the last time you sat down and looked through like an actual like photo book from like our childhood, where it's like the laminate plastic over the sticky you know what I mean? I don't know. I think there's just something to be said for like a printed photograph, and I want to remember that more than like trying to get the dopest gifts in my Instagram story.
Yeah, totally. I know. I want that's what I want Delia and Colin, my niece and nephew, I mean, I can do it. My brother sends me pictures, and I've he has like some Google Drive folders and those kinds of things that he adds, so that's awesome. So we can all like see them and download them ourselves, so I can really just go print them. But yeah, I need some printed pictures that I like to put up pictures still. We don't have a lot of wall space. Like even before we moved into the fifth wheel, didn't have a lot of wall space, but I like to have a little photo book just in case, it just sucks having everything on the computer or your phone, because you're just like looking through it, you're like, when was that picture? 4 years ago in my 4,000 photos. So having some printed versions of pictures is still, I think, very much a just good thing to have, and it's definitely been lost a bit. But
and even those new photo books that people are doing, like the Shutterfly photo books, those are killer.
Yeah, I remember Jason he used to make them all the time. He had so many, like 4 friggin' like photo books from one summer or something.
Hey, it's summer, man.
Yeah, totally. And my mom has one of those frames that's like electronic digital. So we all have, and Jen's mom they got these frames for the moms for Mother's Day. So we all have like an account that links to it, so I can add photos from my phone, like upload them up to her frame, so then she'll just like see pictures of me and the dogs or whatever pop up randomly. But she is such a freak about photos and saving them and looking at them. Like she has
capturing the moment,
hundreds of them on that frame, that I'm like, you need to put like a limit of how many pictures you have on that frame, because then you just need
more frames, Taryn.
Yeah, totally.
You need more frames, one for every room.
Exactly, 4 or 5 frames, and you can have like 500 pictures on each. But I know she loves to see the different ones just like randomly pop up, like all of a sudden, oh look, there's Delia as a baby. It's kind of like we need to get her one for every year and like label it, like this is 2022 pictures and this one's 2021 or whatever. But I thought about one of those. That would be kind of cool to have, because I can put it somewhere here, but I think you need power for that, so trying to limit that. So
getting there.
Since we last talked, we are fully out of the house.
What?
Oh my God. We got out the 4th of July weekend. So like that Sunday, 4th of July was Monday. Well, I guess it was Monday that we finally got like the last bit and came up to the fifth wheel and stayed. But our renters have not moved in yet. They had an issue with the people who were taking over their house. So they said they would still, cover July, so hopefully they do. Andrew has been super understanding with them and whatnot, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that part, but it has worked out in our favor that they haven't moved in, because even though we left our couches, they're going to take the couches, but everything else is gone, and it's been quite warm out, and since we don't have power, we just have our generator. We haven't been leaving the dogs in the fifth wheel because it gets to be like 90 degrees. So we've been taking them to town, and we'll leave them in the house down there, like while we go to work on these hotter days. But we do need to figure that out here very shortly of what we're gonna do with them. We're looking into this solar generator, and I think I've talked about before, Goal Zero. That the fifth wheel should be able to be plugged into, because then we can turn the AC on and the dogs can stay in here. And the AC, just like a heating thermostat, you can set it so it doesn't 70 degrees, 75, that's totally fine and livable that's how hot it gets in the fucking house in the summer. So I think that temperature would be fine for the dogs, because we're just a little nervous. I want to be able to leave them outside, but with Tug still being so young, we just don't really want him to explore too far, or follow a wily coyote to a pack and get eaten or something.
Or run it.
Yeah.
Like a CIMP.
I've thought about like an electric fence around a
Yeah.
certain
There's
little.
solar ones of those too.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that that would have to be power. So that's a good, good
But there
call.
are solar ones that work pretty good. Murray's got some,
Oh,
that I don't know anything about and wouldn't be able to regurgitate anything back to you.
right. Andrew's really not into that type of thing typically. And what I've thought about it is just because we have, I mean, from here, if they're free, they're fucking free. They could go to who knows where, they go off our property, wander from wherever. And I've never had a free range dog. So I just feel like I'd be worried all day when I'm at work, like, where are they? And then when you come home, and if they're not like here, where are they? When do they come home? I wouldn't just be able to sit here and wait for him to come home. So I think especially to start, as Tug is so small, something like a little perimeter of an electric fence, just so we know that they're outside, they can get into shade and they have water, but they aren't wandering down the fire road all the way to like the next town. We've been pretty much doing it. So we've been taking advantage of the house in town a lot and kind of eating out a little too much the last week or so.
Whoops.
Yeah,
vacation mode, man, it happens. I've been trying to get out of vacation mode since before I went on vacation.
We have a freezer, but it's real small, and so we just haven't brought all of our frozen meats and stuff up here yet to get things going. And then when I go down in town, there's been a couple times I remembered to like take something out of the freezer, because we stored all our stuff in the Andrew's parents' chest freezer.
Yeah.
And I just totally don't remember to like go over there, take a piece of meat out and then bring it back up here. So we just got to get on that, grab a couple when we're in pieces of meat when we're in town to bring up and like keep in the refrigerator instead of the freezer, so we can get back on our routine and cooking situation. But we've got a couple kind of limiting factors to that of just being
there's always limited factors, man. Time, other tasks, like what you're eating for lunch, like there's just more important in the moment. There's just so many distractions. Why are there so many distractions?
I know.
Everywhere.
Went for a really, really short bike ride yesterday morning, and it was like the first time in a couple weeks. I can't remember when I went out last. And my friend that I went with, Kate, she was just like, God, I just like, how do people do it all? Like, I haven't been riding my bike much. And I'm like, God, that's all I've been thinking about for the last few weeks. I think about it all the time, but it comes in phases where I think about it more than other times. And it's like, since I took on a full-time job, committed to like 40 hours a week, I keep freaking myself out. Like, shit, how do you consistently work 40 hours a week, do the stuff you want, spend time with your loved ones, relax? Like, I don't want to be on the go every single minute and like take the dogs out, like you only have so much energy for one thing.
Charge.
Yeah, it's hard to figure it out.
Have your safe place to like let all of it go.
Yeah, and so that's where today I was just trying to chill and just get on my work from home shit, track my hours better, where I know I'm doing what I need to do in the 2 days that are reserved for it, and quit spreading it out over like any day that I'm at home, and have a straight up like totally off day. Like, don't even do a little bit of this or a little bit of that, just like take it to by myself. Like house chores, those things, that's different, but like don't do work stuff. But I just have to be on it then about being efficient on my actual work days, and that gets hard because, like you said, there's just so many distractions. Like, oh yeah, I could sleep in a little bit, oh I could go for a quick ride, but damn, so I forgot when I went on this bike ride yesterday. The last time I went, I crashed.
Oof.
And so my handlebars are a little bit crooked, and I got to figure out exactly where the crookedness is coming from, what I need to adjust to fix it. Because I noticed like after that crash was probably midway down the ride we were doing that day. And And I may have noticed it during the ride, but also may have had just enough adrenaline to not notice it as much. But since there'd been time now and I get on and like start going down this, we didn't do the full loop that we had planned because we got a late start. And so we just took this offshoot that is a little like jump line. And so it wasn't much downhill, but a lot of little hits.
Yeah.
And I like went off the first one. Of course, nothing was very big. Neither of us were feeling 100% and hadn't ridden in a while.
Yeah.
But first one and land, and I feel like, you know, my handlebars feel straight, but I land and my tires a little turned. I didn't fall, but I was like, oh shit, I forgot that like my alignment is off.
Yeah.
So everything was a little, I was like, okay, I'm kind of glad we didn't like do the full lap and downhill, because taking like the corners would probably be a little off too. So I have got to look at that, remember to fix that before I go out again. And I'm always so bad at just like, oh, look at it later, you know, instead of right after a ride. And then you get to the trail the next time and you're like, oh shit, this is broken.
Whoops.
Yeah. Have you gone out at all since you've been home?
No, not the frick at all. And I really want to go, but I just haven't. I've been paddleboarding a lot and I love it. I love it so much.
Wait, so did you get a board?
No, I've been borrowing my lovely girlfriend's paddleboard. So at first I was borrowing my girlfriend Erin's paddleboard, and it's an inflatable one that she got at a local secondhand place here in town for $400. And this thing's killer. It's an 11-foot one. And then Sally and Brittany are in Australia doing their amazing thing, which I will share one day with their consent. And so I'm watching their house while they are in Australia, and they are gone for another 2 weeks, and they have chickens and a garden and a cute little house. And so I've been watching on that, and she has a paddleboard that she got from Costco, and it's another inflatable 11-foot. I don't know the exact dimensions, but it's really cool. And she got that one for about $800. And these tools are so cool, and I can't stop using them. Like, I'm obsessed. And I've been doing, working on like standing up and like figuring out my balance. And I generally have Quincy on it with me, and like stuff on the front. You know how it goes. You got to bring this stuff with you out.
Yes.
And Quincy and I always fight on it. I love you, my son. We always
about what? Just like, you're like, sit still.
That, or like he just like pretends to hate it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's always like, I hate paddleboarding. Blah, 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 blah. And then we get out there and he's just like maxing and relaxing a lot of the times, but like just being in close corridors like that, like he'll want to like play with me and like poke and like be on my body, and I'm like, back up, dude. Or like, I don't know, keeping this vessel afloat or navigating this ship, whatever.
It's funny. That's just that kind of kid mentality of like, you want what you can't have, almost like you are busy, and that's when he wants like all of your attention.
Exactly.
Or like trying to have fun with him, like you're paddleboarding with him and he's like wanting to wrestle around or something. He's like, no, like enjoy the ride, buddy. Enjoy the ride. Have you put it on him, or put him on it by himself?
No, not yet, but we've always like kayaked, so or canoe. We have a canoe out at the property, but we've kayaked a little bit too. So he's like helped me with like the canoe and all that stuff. So we're pretty well versed on the sea.
Yeah.
Which this trip really inspired Murray's like want to get out on open water, because he hates flying. And his dad has this sailboat that he's had for like 30 years that he's been working on fixing. And so it really put a fire under him to like go up to Canada and spend some time with his dad, to invest time in his ship, because he's his only son. And so eventually, like when the things happen where we die and like people get our stuff and things, it'll obviously be Murray's.
Yeah.
And so that was just like a cool thought to hear and have. And then Katie's husband, Jake, is a sailor. So yeah, it was just good to be out in the world and hang out with other people. And also like with flying, I have like a very like, I feel so bad for flying, even though there's like corporations that like create, like emit like a greater impact on the world environmentally.
Yeah.
As far as like my tiny ass, but
yeah,
it's good. Like if you have those feelings, like still care about the planet, people.
I mean, it's
still care.
I feel like
still do what
something
you can.
like flying is so hard to
justify or
to fight. Like,
yes, yeah.
I mean, you can do all you. Okay, so everyone has like a carbon, the carbon footprint, obviously, but the like the carbon offset or whatever is what people are talking about now. Like all these companies, you'll see like, they will be trying to offset their carbon footprint by using like sustainable packaging or shipping once a week, or doing something weird like that. So it's like, even as individuals, you could try to offset by what you do is like try to grow your own food, bike around as much as possible. So you take a couple flights a year. Like you can't not fly to Mexico, like with your family for an event. What are you going to do? Just not go? So I feel like, I don't know obviously I don't know who actually even listens to this, but I don't know if anyone in our audience would be the one that's like super against any kind of emission thing or anything. So I think everyone would understand that. Yeah, like
also maybe I'm feeling a little bit of guilt because on the plane I was like watching a documentary about Greta Thunberg and she sailed, but yeah, so like the love for the ocean came back.
Yeah, well, that's awesome that he found that and got inspired and wants to go spend some time with his dad too and whatnot.
I hope you actually, Marie, if you're listening to this,
yeah
follow through with that. I hope you follow through with that. Which we are also backpacking to Shy Shy this weekend.
I was wondering where you were going.
Yeah, I just like, man, Mexico. It's summer. I can't freaking stop. Like, I feel like this is like the first time I've sat down in like a week, Well,
I think that's also good at a certain, to a certain extent. Whoa, hold on. Oh my Lord. Jesus, Piglet just put this under the table.
Oh my gosh, that is a root to like a cedar tree.
Yeah, and so he just shoved it under the table and then tried to pull it back out.
It's really dry. How's the weather in Tahoe? What do you think is going to happen with the wildfire season, dude?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, it smelled smoky this morning because there's a fire in Yosemite.
Oh my god.
And
Yosemite's been getting fucked up this year.
Yeah, so it smelled like smoke this morning out here, but it's like a little bit hazy, but nothing crazy. There was a fire in Truckee last week. Like a woman fucking set little spot fires, like, and 12 acres went up in flames. It was across the highway from the house in town. So I think, but it was super windy, like it always is, usually is anyways, has been in the afternoons. And I went to town, took the dogs to town. We're sitting in the house and I all of a sudden got just like really fucking tired. And I was like, I'm going to close my eyes for like 15 minutes. That's it. And then I happened to, in doing that, like laid down and of course did the scroll, but like, it was a good thing because first thing I see on Facebook is a post from the Truckee Police Department saying that there is a mandatory evacuation in Glenshire, which is this like subdivision, I guess, of Truckee. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And then I saw where it was, like, because we have all these evacuation zones. So I looked up exactly what the zone was. And I'm like, that's like the zone next to our zone that's being mandatorily evacuated. And the fire was like behind the Truckee airport, and they got on it like right away and had it contained really quickly. And then so it happened like right next to this very popular bike trail in Truckee. And 2 days later, I took I rode my bike from the property down, and I take that trail all the way to town. And I'm just like cruising along, and I see this lady riding real slow and like looking up to her left. And then I'm like, good morning. And I look left and I see like the burn scar and smell like like fire still. It's not like the smell of smoke. It's like the smoldering. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. It was right on the trail, because they had the trail closed for like a couple of days to make sure it was all out and stuff. But yeah, it was just like, man, it's July, like too early. I don't want this to start happening now, just like it has the last couple years, it seems. Like, can we please make it through July without it being terribly smoky? And, you know, luckily for us, we're not getting greatly affected by the fire smoke in Yosemite or anything. You still notice it, but it just gets scary where you're like, man, it fucking sucks. There's really such a small amount of time where you can enjoy being outside in the summer, feels like, without worry. So yeah, it's pretty dry. Somebody made a comment on my Instagram. This guy, Brian, do you remember Brian?
Yes, I do remember Brian. You don't even have to say the last name. I know which one.
He messaged me like in response to a story and said something like, good thing there was a late snow year or something. But I was like, no, like we're in a severe drought. Like, yeah, we got a couple late storms, but we didn't have much of a snowpack to begin with. And it's gone. Like Washington, I feel like you guys are set up a lot better. You guys had some late, like overall more snow and storms. But when it stops snowing here, it gets warm and it melts so quickly. So yeah, we didn't have a major snowpack. Those late snows definitely helped keep some moisture, but like a couple weeks ago, I was driving on the highway, and on the overhead signs where they say, like, just put up messages, there's like severe drought, limit outdoor watering. And I was like, oh fuck, I didn't even realize like we were already like in that kind of situation where they're posting about it. But at the same time, this is the time that people are traveling and coming up here and coming up to second homes or visiting, that I think it's just a reminder to people who are not here full time that like, hey, really limit your water usage, and this is the situation. But yeah, so it's dry, but this is the first week that I feel like it's gotten real hot. It's been in the 90s. And yeah, but so far there's not been anything super close to us as far as wildfires that scare, like in Truckee. And it's just such, man, it's the fact that somebody set this fire is insane. But also a part of me in a way is like relieved that it wasn't just like a natural spark or something, like dry lightning and then bam, here it goes. It's like someone intentionally did it. So but I still worry about those people. I think there's a large percentage of wildfires that are set by human beings. So it's just fucked up that they do it. I mean, they should be arrested for attempted murder, I think.
Yeah, they really should.
Yeah,
they really freaking should, dude.
They wipe out towns. Like there's there's no reason for you to be out of jail if you do that. I don't, yes, mental problems, I'm sure, but like
that's not
so
okay.
unless our country can count on people getting mental health help, then how can you trust this person to be out? So there needs to be different kinds of institutions. So maybe it's like not just straight jail, lock up and throw away the key, but there has to be some sort of mental evaluation. Like if this person literally could have killed so many people and like wiped out Truckee with the freaking wind. And then so it just made me think too, because so we've been like rolling around with one vehicle for like a month now, and
good job, especially through a move. That's rough.
Yeah, it was hard. That's what's made the last couple of weeks a little bit hard to kind of plan like dinner things and stuff, because that's just the last thing on my mind is like, did I take something out for dinner? I'm thinking about like, okay, we got to get out the door. What do I need for the whole day? What are we doing with the dogs? Who's off work when? Who starts work when? and Piglet Thomas, no. So, but I did have the truck this particular morning. I dropped Andrew off at work and took the truck, but I was like, fuck, dude, you know, what if I was at the property with the dogs without the truck? Because I did that the other day. I was just like, I have to work, so I need to stay up here. I need to be like stuck up here and get shit done. So you just take the truck, go to work. I'm like, dude, what if something happened that we needed to evacuate and I'm just up here with the dogs in a vehicle that doesn't move? So it's like, God, I want us to get something going. And so I'm trying to get a new truck myself. So
Hi, dude. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited and hopefully I get it. But like, I think we've pretty much gone through the process, but I haven't heard like 100% confirmation yet, which is annoying. Oh, let's see. Actually just got an email. Okay. My finances are pending. So, which I mean, it's sent. The financing part is done. It's been sent to the dealer. So it's a done deal, but I don't know when this happened in the world, but apparently you can't just fucking drive off the lot with a car anymore. Like, it takes 7 to 10 days. And I'm like, what the fuck? I and everyone else I know who's ever bought a car has gone to the dealer, looked at a car and left with the car. So I'm like, just anxiously awaiting, like, when can I get it? Like, it has to go through the shop and inspection, just do like an oil change or check and blah blah blah. They're like, it's newer, you know, low miles, so I'm sure it doesn't need much. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure too. So like, it should have been having this done before it was even listed. And if you work at a car dealership and you're a car salesman and you can like tell me that I'm completely wrong, but like I said, this is not the experience I or anyone else I've had or know has ever had at a dealership. And maybe it was just brought to the dealer and it never got in, but I just believe that it should go through that before it's listed then.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never bought a car I've always bought cash money deals. I don't know.
My old truck was from a dealership, but I left with it. So now I'm just like anxiously awaiting because it just was an impulsive thing, a thought that I just had. Like, when I started driving the red truck around, I hadn't even thought about what kind of vehicle I would want when I get, you know, like a new one for myself. I was just kind of still thinking a van, and I'd started like kind of letting go of that. Like, I don't really need a van right now. I'm not doing just my business. But then I was like, it'd still be nice being up here to have a van and put everything in it and go to town for the day and not worry about like having paddle boards and bikes like just in the bed of a truck. But just came to think too of like being up here and the winter. I'm like, do I really want to drive a tall, like long van around all winter through storms? And I just had this thought suddenly about looking into the newer like Ford Rangers, and
hell yeah,
I just like searched and it was at the dealer in Reno. And so we went down and like looked at it, and go away, dogs. So I don't know, I feel like until I am in the vehicle driving away, I'm like not super like excited or pumped because it just doesn't feel real, but I'm just anxious because I want to be able to get on a routine. And I feel like once we're back in the routine of having two vehicles and being able to have like our own autonomy with our schedules, then things will get a little bit easier and back on somewhat of a normal track with our lives.
That's a good that's having a routine is nice. Since summer we really haven't had a routine, and we've just been kind of like going with the wind, which I think is good, but also I know kids need stability, but I also know that it's going to come when the school year starts, and that this is what summer is for, and like we should all know how to like try to do that balance of like
have your happiness and joy, but also like be productive and get the stuff done that you need to get done for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think summer for a lot of people is hard to have. Like your routines can just go out the window because there's a little more
Flexibility.
space for like spontaneity where you're like, oh, it's a nice day.
And
Like,
it's still
especially in
light out.
Washington, right? You're like, it's nice, it's warm. Like, we're all off work now in the evening. Let's go to the water. Like, let's go to some source of water or do something, you know? And then it turns into, not being at home for like a 7:00 dinner or whatever. And I think just allowing yourself to kind of have that grace is important, and that's something that I always have to work on, is finding that balance, like you said, between like structure and spontaneity. And I just had that conversation with Andrew like the other day, just like there's room for spontaneous stuff, but there's also, we also do kind of have to have a little bit of a schedule, especially as we're coordinating schedules. Because it was last night, I guess, because this guy asked, we were having a couple beers and he was, a buddy of his was like, want to go to Boca, this reservoir, and boat? And Andrew's like, gotta ask Taryn. And I'm like, no, it's like, we haven't eaten dinner. Neither of us have like really eaten all day. The dogs are at the house. Like, what are we supposed to do with the dogs? Go get them and drive out there and leave them in the truck while we go? And I was just like, no, like and even Andrew agreed, like, need a little more planning for that. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Sometimes you can say yes to those things, but sometimes you got to stick to your guns and be like a little responsible. Like, no, we gotta eat dinner, get the dogs, like go home, like get to bed, like so yeah. But like I said, it gets a lot harder to do it in the summer because it feels like so fleeting that you have the opportunities to go do some of this stuff. But
the sedentary and like slowness will come in winter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I've been having this internal, that's why I've been having a little bit of an internal battle of like, I should be doing more. Like, I can do some kind of activity in the morning and some kind of activity after work, because I should just be go in the summer. I can rest in the winter, but it's like, at the same time, you need to not burn yourself out to where all of a sudden for a week or two, like you can't do anything. You're just so tired and have no motivation. I don't like the like constant peaks and valleys. Can I just want a like little bit of a flat road?
Yeah. Rolling with the punches sometimes.
Totally. So that's our updates, being in this fifth wheel, being in this fifth wheel full time, and hopefully dog mama over here getting a new vehicle. I've never had the newest vehicle I've had was a 15-year-old truck, so I'm like pretty excited. It's like, it's still pretty basic. It doesn't have like all the bells and whistles or anything, but yeah, it'll be cool to join that adulthood that I might regret later once the first payment comes. But
hey, at least you'll have a little bit of freedom in a country where nobody is free.
That's right. So, I'm like, I just need to be a girl in a truck again. Like, I just want my own truck again. Even though, like I said, having the red truck, it's been like, I've been the one driving it, but it's just different. Like not having for me anyways, like not having my own, that I like don't have to worry about like ruining someone else's, or just I don't know, or I just want my own, and I can make all my own decisions about it. So yeah. Are you still just at the the Hideaway? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Dusty's Hideaway. I've been doing that, and then I've also been picking up shifts at Peaks and Pints.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just doing food service where I can for my community.
How's your thoughts on school or anything? Is that something you think you would do in the fall, like start in the fall if you were going to do it?
I think I'm going to start working on that in the fall for sure. And also hoping to be able, I don't know, I just have a lot of things going on in my head, and I just need to sit down and write some things out and figure out way to go, because I'm having this really internal thing, like pull with like, where do I put my energy right now? And for me 1,000%, yes, I want to go to school and do that thing. Not exactly sure what the thing is yet, but I was going to meet with some people, some advisors and people, and talk about like a plan as far as like what I want to get into, because I'm all over the place. I'm like, I think hydrology is great. I think environmental planning is great. I think like green architecture is awesome. And so just trying to like figure out
it all out. Yeah.
A place for my passions. Okay.
Yeah. It's hard. It's so hard to figure out where to go, where to start, especially when it comes to something like school, and you know, you're investing in something. So you're going to be spending not only money, but time.
Yes.
And time is like so much more valuable. So if you really want to feel like you're making the right choice, that your time is being used most efficiently and going to reward you in the best way for it. It's so difficult to
navigate your energies and your focuses. Yeah. But I'll narrow it down, but I also want to like put time and energy into the property, and like we just really haven't this year. And especially with the 2 years prior in the pandemic, there was a little bit of more like slow down to like reel it in.
I feel like that's been a little bit of a hard transition for some, to just like the world is getting back to its normal speed of things. These damn dogs. I'm gonna throw this root again.
Our flight to Mexico, the line for the SeaTac airport pre-check was in the garage. You had to like go.
What?
It was fucking insane.
Out the door and across the street?
Out the door, down the stairs, across the street, in the fucking parking garage. It was like insane. It was absolutely insane. It was crazy. And everyone was like, what? Where do we go? And like people kept on directing, and we went in a circle, and it was just like,
that's insane.
Dude, it was wild.
So I know that's the thing, like flights have been so fucked up. So many have been canceled. Like when you're at the airport, they're like, oh, we actually don't have a pilot for this flight. I'm like,
yes,
how did that happen?
That
like,
happened to us.
Why was that even scheduled then? It's so fucking crazy. I don't understand it. And it's just because so many people are not going back to work, whether they figured out that they want something more in life, or they weren't getting, compensated for what they were doing. Like, I don't even know. I don't know if unemployment is still available for like the COVID reasons, or I don't know what's going on, but it's just insane. The amount of companies and things that are still lacking in employees. It just still feels like the world is trying to get back up to normal speed, but it's not, because these like no business can really run normally because every business is like low staffed. So it's a interesting dynamic going on, and it's crazy. Like we opened our second store, Talk Sports downtown, and it's just like, I can't believe we're doing this. And there's so many other business around that can't find employees or something. Like, that's super, super awesome for us that we've been able to maintain through it all, and not just maintain, but to grow. But it's crazy now, like opening a second store too. It's like, whoa, whole different world. But that's been exciting too, to have a change of a pace for me. I've been at that new store mostly. Just a new, different scene. I feel like a whole new woman there. I'm wearing like dresses and jumpsuits.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes. So now that you've done Mexico, got to get you down here, but
yes, I know.
I don't want to do flights.
I know.
Now that I have a vehicle too, I'm like, oh, maybe I can go up to Washington and she can drive home with me.
Yeah. I'm down. Wait, when?
I have no idea.
Okay.
My mom wants me to hold on. Jeez, Lou.
Earthquake. I know my child needs to interrupt me for a question too. What's your question, sir?
How do you spell R?
Like we are going to the store?
Yeah.
A-R-E.
What's he doing? Writing a story?
I think he's trying to look up a video to watch on YouTube.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so annoyed with these dogs and shoving this stick under the table. I hope it's not like too annoying on the audio. I don't know what to do with them, how to put up a barricade around my table. I need one of those dog like fences where they make little kennel circles,
Yes.
but I'll be in it. Like stay away from me. I had a Zoom call yesterday and they were driving me nuts.
Sorry. I hung out with Caroline yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it was good to see her. And I think we're going to get together with another gal soon and talk about abortion. So maybe we should probably bring that up
Yes.
once that happens.
Yep, definitely. I do want to talk about that again and go into like what, is actually what has happened and what has
and what is
changed.
actively happening. Like things are actively happening. And like a lot of us, like we have these choices to like actively do something about it.
Yep.
That's exciting. Our time is now, Taryn.
Yes.
So let's burn this bitch down.
Totally. I went paddleboarding with my friend Liz on my birthday and we started kind of talking.
You had a birthday.
I did. I'm another year older, wiser, all the things. Hillary can be happy we're the same age for 2 months.
Yes.
She always gets mad that I'm younger than her. Not mad, but
it's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we brought it up and Liz was like, just talking about how she feels like, yeah, that's just been a feeling overall. Like some of these things aren't directly happening to you, but just still you feel this deep sadness about being a woman in this fucking nation right now.
Yeah.
And she's like, my boyfriend just doesn't get it. And like on the 4th of July, like he wanted to go do stuff. And she's like, no, I don't fucking feel like it.
Yes.
And he just doesn't understand. And I haven't really talked to Andrew much about it or anything, or anyone really about my feelings. But yeah, there's just days where I just feel this overwhelming, just like weirdness and sadness of like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm independent anymore or have choices, even though I do where I'm at right now. It just feels like at any moment it could be taken away, or that like, yeah, people can judge. Exactly. And it's fucking weird. It's so weird to think about. And I know there's many people who have felt this way like their whole lives for different reasons, whether that's racial or whatnot, religious ways and things like that. So I'm not saying like, oh, poor me now or anything, but I think that's why too, the thought of having like my own vehicle again and not just like borrowing someone else's, even though it's my boyfriend's vehicle, like it just reignites a little bit of complete independence of like I can like go wherever I want, whenever I want, and like never have to like tell you where your truck is. Like don't worry about it. So yeah, I feel like there's this deeper kind of feeling for me for getting my own vehicle again, and even like suddenly just like I said had this thought and feeling of like I actually do want to look for my own vehicle again.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, so it's just
cool.
Yeah, wanting to have that independence. So I definitely want to talk about that again, go deeper into it. So keep me posted when you meet with those ladies, whether we want to do it like all together, if you want to talk with them, like you're going to meet with them first and then we can chat about that later, or organize a time that we can all chat like again and go over some things. And then it would give us time to like do our own due diligence with kind of research about what's going on now that it's been a few weeks now. I didn't want to do it right away because I wanted to kind of see like what was happening and be able to do a update of things that are really taking place and happening right this second, and getting some real answers and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, and I
Visit
guess
it.
other than that, I don't have much else for the day. Probably take these dogs for a dip and head into town.
Nice. What's your go-to thing to take backpacking with you? What should I pack to go backpacking?
Oh yeah, and so you're going to the
Sky
beach.
is a really
Man.
chill hike. It's like 2 miles. It's really chill. Like we could make multiple trips back to the car if we really wanted to.
Right. I've never been, but I know my brother has gone a few times and stuff, and so I know they've gone back and forth a couple times, but I think anytime you don't have to is awesome.
Mhm.
I haven't been backpacking in so long. I want to do more shit like that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love to have a comfy chair.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, if you don't need to be ultra light and you have a nice like camp chair and can
Yeah, I do have one.
and get that attached to your bag.
Mhm.
And of course coffee.
Yeah, coffee. I was gonna get Quincy some hot chocolate. I was thinking about doing s'mores, but we'll see. I might hike in like kale quinoa salad if I don't eat it before we go. My girlfriend gave me her CSA and there's just so much produce. I like haven't even made a dent, I feel like. And then another one gets picked up tomorrow and yeah, it's just a lot. Yeah, so I need to get my my backpacking poop in a group.
When are you leaving tomorrow?
Yeah, I want
Oh,
to
wow.
leave by tomorrow because it's like a 4-hour drive to get there.
Right.
And I have a girlfriend who has family property close to the Olympics, and it would be nice to go there first. But I also might have to drive out to the property to feed the turkeys so that Murray doesn't have to. And yeah, so we'll see. Things are still up in the air.
Big day. Yeah.
Big day.
I think for how long are you going? How many nights?
Just one, which
Oh,
sounds
just one.
hard, but it's like so worth it.
Well, I would definitely say then if you're going just one, then I would do as much as possible to not have to go do 2 trips, because just squeeze every ounce you have to be able to relax and chill there. So
Mhm.
I mean, food and whatnot, bring enough that you eat it all. That saves a little bit of weight in water. And but yeah, if you have the capacity to carry a comfy chair, that's my favorite thing on shorter trips.
Yeah.
Especially at
good
the
call.
beach. Just sit on the beach.
Yeah, the beach man.
But also, I guess with one night, you can easily chill on the beach without a chair. So
Mhm. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if it's a couple nights or 3 or 4 or something like that, I think it's a little better to have more comforts. But one night, just
Yeah.
necessities, I guess, is what I do.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate your input.
Yes. I want to do something like, I want you down here so bad to like
Oh, I'm coming.
go
So Karina's-
do a backpacking trip here and mountain bike or something.
Okay, what time of year are we thinking? September, early September?
Probably that would probably be best, and we'll see how it goes with fires and smoke and stuff and the forest being closed. So we'll in August we'll probably fly though. But what is Karina, you going down there, right?
She's due the 23rd, and I plan on making a trip after she adjusts and gets better.
Okay, so early or mid-August or something down there, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, let me know, because maybe I can like shoot down that way and do like a night or weekend to like meet
Down
you
in
because where are they?
They're in Venice.
Yeah, so
LA.
maybe I'd be able to take a day or two and go down there and see the fucking ocean and hang out with you down there.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Because are you flying?
Yes, I'd be
okay.
flying.
Yeah, so
I have
it'd be easier for me to like be able to do something like that than to you like rent a car or jump on another little plane to Reno or something, especially with what we talked about with flights being completely unreliable right now.
Yeah.
But let's keep in touch about that, because I might be able to take 3 days and run, because it's like an 8-hour drive. So like 3 days would be nice to go down there and then have a day with you and then come back.
Yeah. Tight.
Yes.
Sick. But also, I'd love to come visit Tahoe too. And
Yes.
check
Well,
it
let's
out.
plan for that in September sometime.
And see the new setup because it looks mother forking PIMP, baby.
Yeah. So I was walking the property today. I was trying to find the like corner markers to put new flagging tape on.
Mhm.
And as I was like out in one area, I was like, people could totally just pitch tents like fucking anywhere they want out here. And so that I was instantly thinking of you and visiting and just how excited you would be to be like, I can do it here. I can do it over here. I can do it over here.
Yes. And I want to see the property. Plus, like you guys moving out there full time is just so inspiring to me. And I'm just very proud of you guys.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And hopefully by the time you are here, we have a little bit more complete here, like more consistent access to power without a loud generator and just like a bigger water tank and bigger septic tank, but we're making it work for now with just the two of us. But yeah, it'd be nice to not have to like refill and empty these things like every week or two and have a little one less thing to worry about of like, oh crap, we need water like now.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, cool. All right. Well, I better get these dogs moving along for the day and figure out what else I'm gonna do here.
Same, pal. It's good to see you.
You too. We'll talk very soon and maybe we'll have a little more direction in our conversation. But it's always nice to have one where we're just like updating, especially when like we've done some shit in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, we have. We've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, totally.
I've been so freaking busy. Let's try and catch up next Thursday. Maybe Thursday should be our day, girl.
I think I'm gonna start working Thursdays in August.
Damn. What
I'll
else?
let you know what my schedule is.
Okay, sounds
I think Monday or Tuesday. I think I'll be in the store Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays starting August. So I'll let you know.
Okay, cool.
All right, have a wonderful day, my friend. Bye. We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.